Hello, this is Conversations in Artificial Intelligence. This is Paolo, your host, and today we're going to talk about a super interesting topic, which is basically how do we form the data scientists and the artificial intelligence specialists of the future. So with me today, we have Casey Bennett, who is a data scientist working in the field of healthcare. He is a professor at DePaul University in Chicago. How did you stumble upon artificial intelligence?
I kind of came into it through a circuitous route. A long time ago, I started off as doing bioinformatics sort of and genetics. Over time, that kind of transitioned into doing more healthcare stuff. And as you may be aware, there's a huge need in the healthcare space for trying to figure out how to deal with the massive amounts of data. It was kind of an accident, to be honest with you.
Today, you work in healthcare. Maybe before we go into the topic of the day, I would like to kind of get an overview a little bit about the work that you do in healthcare, and maybe just knowing a little bit about it.
I started off doing this way back in like 2003. I was trying to convince people to implement neural networks in their electronic health records. As you can imagine, people thought I was crazy for about 10 years, but now everybody does it. And so, I've been doing this sort of whole schematic of trying to find ways to create data-driven approaches in healthcare. How can we tailor treatments specifically for a particular patient? How can we take advantage of data from outside the clinic, from sensors, from robots that we may put into people's homes or that may be in our environment. All my research is built around the idea of how can we make better healthcare decisions, leveraging the data we collect both inside the clinic and outside the clinic.
Where do you think the current education available lack the ability to convey these skills?
I think there's a lack of conceptual understanding being taught. You can teach people how to do statistics, how to create a linear regression model. You can teach people how to program in Python, and they can go out and download Scikit and build a neural network. But regardless of those skills, people need to have a conceptual understanding of what they're doing and why. Because when you're doing data science, really what you're doing when you tweak those parameters, when you pull in another feature into your data set, when you do some pre-processing, when you normalize data, every single one of those is essentially an experiment. You're essentially running experiments. And so you need to take that empirical approach of not trying to rely on black and white statistical thinking, or not just doing some programming and spitting out a neural network and saying I'm done, but truly understanding what you're doing and that sort of interpretation piece.
So companies have a challenge today to hire. I know for a fact that some of them invest into education. So if they were to invest into additional education, what is the advice to give to these companies? What should they do?
There are people out there who've been doing data science like myself, back before it was a word. 10, 15 years, we called ourselves something different, until the last few years, but we've been doing these same things of building machine learning models and trying to apply AI. I do it in healthcare, but there are people who do it in other industries. One thing I would say is really useful is to find somebody who's done it for a long time and have those people mentor those people. Because the people who've done it for a long time, they know what the job actually entails and what you need to do to be successful. And so what I would say is a good strategy is to try to find, some of those people who've done it for a long time and actually have the practical experience, because it's really hit or miss with the boot camps, with the university programs, with any of the other things. It really comes down to who's teaching it, and do those people who are teaching it, are they teaching it from a place of practical experience, or are they teaching it more from a sort of a theoretical understanding of what they read in a book somewhere or whatever? So, what I would recommend is finding those people who are experienced and using those people as mentors.
So where you think the AI itself will go, in the sense that we will have a new source of data, we will have new applications, but do you expect that AI will get to a next level?
Yeah, I think you're going to see a shift away from, a lot of machine learning algorithms that are existent today are really focused on prediction of some event, what have you, or is this picture a cat or a dog, or does this person have a tumor or not a tumor, what have you. I think you're going to see a shift away from some of the traditional machine learning stuff into more simulation-based modeling. That's actually what I've done over the last few years. I've done less and less sort of traditional build a neural network, build a Bayesian classifier, whatever. And I've been doing more and more simulation stuff. It comes down to this issue of, and you talk to anybody in the AI field, they'll tell you this, is any particular approach, any particular algorithm is going to solve some set of problems, but it's not going to solve every set of problems, right? So like deep learning, right, is really good at classifying images, but for other kinds of problems, it doesn't work so well, So what we need are a wide array of approaches, and I think you're going to see more and more of a movement away from traditional, what we call machine learning type stuff, the stuff you see in Scikit and Spark, and people doing more simulation-based approaches. Well, I got this massive amount of data in real time from people's daily lives, and so we really have the capability of starting to simulate out these sort of what-if scenarios of if certain things happen, rather than just trying to predict, yes versus no, black versus white, tumor versus not tumor. And so I think simulation-based modeling, agent-based simulations, multi-agent simulations, I think that's really going to become more and more important with AI moving forward. If we can simulate out the future, what may happen, rather than just trying to make a prediction, we can explore all the different alternative possibilities. And that really opens up a whole new frontier in artificial intelligence.
Here is a very simple question. Where do you see the future of innovation in AI in the next 5 years?
I think we are seeing a transition in the data science field. I think that a lot of people are just kind of doing what people did 5 years ago, which is building machine learning models to predict things. And that's fine, but I think that's going to become more and more commoditized. You see tools like H2O, Data Robot, these other technologies that are coming out that are going to commoditize a lot of the sort of basic functions of data science and machine learning, AI, what have you. I think what we're going to see is a shift in terms of the kind of data people are working with. Internet of Things, I think is going to become huge as these devices, people are not going to get rid of their devices. We're just going to see more and more of them. So how do you leverage the information coming from these interconnected devices that are in people's homes, that are in their daily lives, to help make decisions, right? Maybe about healthcare or other kinds of decisions, right? It could apply to lots of industries, the auto industry, insurance industry, what have you. So I think Internet of Things is going to become huge. We're also going to see more robotics. I think not just surgical robots, those have been around for a while, or factory robots. I think robots are going to continue to creep into people's daily lives. I think one issue we have is that we really need to be training students now for the world of tomorrow, right? There's new data streams. A lot of the basic stuff that we've already done is going to become commoditized. And really what's going to be valuable for data scientists and AI professionals and companies going forward is figuring out how to use these new data sources.